I'm gonna put as many timestamps in this video as possible, or at least the ones I'm gonna use. If I write them along the way, I'll use them only in this video. If I have to edit this again, I won't edit it. So that's a long story. But anyways, we're gonna go through a few. I hate saying bullet points, but there's a long story to that too. So let's just say items. I always did that before for gratitude notes. But we're gonna try on this video. We're gonna try to just make a video specifically for the intention of just having timestamps. It's a feature that YouTube introduced this year or last year. It was like to have anytime you put a name behind a timestamp, you could label it in the actual video, so it would highlight it inside the actual video from the video description, and it works out pretty well. If you just type anything, if you type any timestamp with a proper address name to the side, it'll label in the video. So I'm gonna do that in this video. This is strictly just to do this for timestamps. I don't even know what the video's gonna be about yet. I just fucking wasted your first minute there. The first guys out of here already. I'm sorry. Yeah, damn. Anyways, first item we're gonna put, and I did take practice notes before, so I do want to go over this. So we're actually gonna talk a little bit about, at least in this video, we're gonna talk about video ideas I have for the future, and maybe ahead of that we're gonna talk about some things I'm trying to research lately. So the first video idea was gonna actually be surprise another claymation video. It was going to actually be we're gonna go for 133, and that is a claymation stream featuring sculpting / animating. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, 133. So if I added that time since I remember, this sounds as bare bones as it needs to, because even if I already know what I'm gonna do with it, like for example, I could already sculpt an anim on this thing already, but even if it was gonna be something completely different, it's just to enter back to the stop motion. No pun intended, but the stop motion frame of things to actually like get back into the grind of that, because it was always a back pocket strategy. Even if it wasn't actually my niche, it was something that I could always do, because I was a talented person at that kind of thing. I was always a talented cartoonist, animator, but it was always that. But it was never my passion. It was always that grudge to solve my life problems and to service people when I should have been helping myself first. You know, it is weird debacles like that. So, but claymation can come back in the soon future. It may not be everything I was intending to before, like Spytime's Family or Child's House covers, music covers, or even like the Project Tether, whatever the heck else. Any like ideas I had, like some of the other short-term and long-term ideas, and everything between, intermediate, whatever. It was gonna be anything like that, but just but claymation will come back. It could be a music video. It could be which would be nice for a first music video, like an actual official music video that isn't just singing or piano and singing, but actual singing and piano and claymation. So, especially if it's original, you know, so that'd be a nice one. Any specific ideas behind that would be like, so like I said, it'd be a music video. It would be a Project Tether, and then it'd be more short films, I think. So for the next item, we got what I'm studying, and I'm breaking this into back and forth bullets at this point. So I'm not gonna say bullets yet, but I'm gonna say items right now. So because bullet points gets to my brain in a weird way. I can explain that later. There's a lot of charms I have. Oh, I can explain this right now. The charm I have at 408. The first trauma that I have is that I do not go to the gym. So why do I not go to the gym? Well, there's a long story about that, and I keep saying that with many things in this video already. So far, it would just be things like contrariness w / karmic cycles, and that's related to romantic relationships kind of thing. So like, it was like a sort of where I was just like, if this and I talked to a few people about this already. This idea that I don't have to. This is like I'm using to kind of cope with this stuff, but like it's like if I know that I could also go to the gym like my ex, and it wouldn't turn me to the same savage piece of shit. Sorry, she's watching this. Okay, but like if it would make me a better person, if even better than her, and not doing the same things like her, like going to the gym or meditating or writing gratitude notes, if those things wouldn't, or journaling or having a career or a job, whatever else, if those things wouldn't turn me into the monster I think she is in my mind, then maybe that would be better. But I'm not trying to say she is. I'm hoping for the best for her anyways. Unironically, but I am hoping the best for her. It's just that I was always scared about stuff like that. Like one of the biggest traumas I have before any of this was I did not want to become the people who betrayed me, and so that's why I had issues like not going to the gym, or not working as hard as I could have, not making quality content. I could get that in a second on YouTube, stuff like that. So actually, I could leave this item right here as it is. It's contrarians, countercycles. That's it. Okay, so next item we're gonna put. Before I know what it is, I'm gonna say 605. Before I know what it is, 605. But I should probably hurry so it doesn't wait the time. But 605 should be what I've been studying. I've been studying a little bit about narcissism. And it was actually a not complex PTSD, so it was like a. I'll put those in items. And I'll explain what another item is, that it's actually been about combating the delusions of the DSM-5 plus other myths, and popular lies, I guess you could say. You gonna call me controversial or fucking fake news, motherfucker? Now the thing is, I don't. To this day, I could just as well say I don't see myself as a narcissist, but that's not the point. Even if I wasn't a narcissist, even if I was or wasn't, it's not the point. Really, is the idea is to explore these general principles and guidelines for how we perceive other people and ourselves, not just in terms of like what would actually be a mental disorder or an actual like a diagnosable lifestyle or whatever. Because the way that people generalize, and I don't even want to say globalize. Globalization is its own fucking hypocrisy, but I get that later if I need to. We generalize narcissism a lot. We tend to say that people who are, and I made a video about narcissism and gratitude earlier, an hour long video like last year. It was about my own generalized thoughts about that, but not the generalization I'm talking about right now, which is when they think that narcissism is like this thing where people just get over their heads and they're too selfish and they're too prideful in what they think is they're worthy for compared to contestant of other people. And it's like, yeah, but can we explain why we think those people are selfish instead of just labeling them like that? And that's the surface level. There's a lot that these people, that other creators have gone into about this, that they researched, that were actually able to explain better than me. They explain things like vulnerable narcissism and grandiose narcissism, stuff like that. That's a start. It's like grandiose versus vulnerable. And it's when you actually think about the people who are not the cliche, what the heck was the name, Narcissus from the ancient times, not the cliche version of that being the whole label. The story, the fable behind that, not fable, the animals, but the legend behind that is that Narcissus actually died because of his narcissism. But it was not so much from obsession over himself, it was the idea that he couldn't handle the fact that he couldn't find his image more perfect than he actually did, because every time he kept touching the water, he kept diluting the image of perfection that he saw. So he died from his idea of narcissism, but he didn't just get obsessed with it and not know any better. Like, it actually screwed him over. So it's like, it's something that we actually take seriously. It's not the end-all be-all of, oh, no wonder narcissists are bad. No, really, think about that. Like, you don't want to treat these people like savage monsters all the time, do you? Like, no, more so than even anyone else could be worth more or less than them, which is not to be the point. And this is my opinion though, I think there are worse people than narcissists anyways, but beyond that, narcissism has been understood, so yeah. So the last item I'm going to throw in here at what I think could be exactly 10, yeah, 10, is going to be a drawback on the last 3 bullets, because I was already doing that, making multiple bullets for different things, like topics and not non-paradise stuff, is why or actually no, I'll make this simple for you guys, even though I'm a comic geek person. What are my plans going forward? I already kind of give you an idea with the claymation thing, but okay. Supposedly, like I just said with the very first item, I would make claymation. I did already make a video by gratitude notes, which was a little awkward and suggestively edited to look like it was quality content, but it was really like just a quick go at in the middle of the afternoon of yesterday. But it was nice. It was like a quality content kind of attempt thingy, like where it was like, okay, maybe it wasn't exactly quality, but at least it was something. It was like, and there's more to the quality content trauma as well as the gym dilemma and the other stuff, but claymation trauma as well. So what I will do aside from claymation is obviously more variety content. I'm sorry if that gets in the way of other things, including actually growing on this channel, but it's like that's really what I would actually be going for right now. It's like the variety content gets to me a lot, especially if I go back to other stuff like I didn't mention it in this video or the last one really. It was hinted in the last video a little bit. The occult knowledge stuff. I'm going to actually go back to that over time, not just the meme posts from long back, but actual like occult like related content. It's going to actually be about the astrology and spirituality stuff a little more, including like manifestation, which is not going to be too hardline occultism, but it's going to still be kind of stuff along those lines. So there'll be occultism, claymation. There will be nofap vlogs, a little more, just to document my journey over time. Not too hard line into things like nofap zero intention. I keep saying hard line. Nofap zero intention. Not so much of those, but like at least like the vlogs themselves will be about other things, not just the PMO addiction thing. There actually will be a. So let me just write those down. I already mentioned claymation, but I'll do it again. I did say vlogging, so I'll put IE. And then the deep drops will come back. I think I just had a hard time making that work out because I wanted to be truly inspired and I dare say even motivated or disciplined or determined, what the fuck, actually to making those come out. But I didn't want to just rush myself. No, those things done. So that's the whole gambit of what I've been doing these last few months, especially since the earlier this year, was to not push myself into anything I didn't actually have to do yet, even if it was still impending to be a good thing, you know. So as a bonus item, we'll put at 12:57. We are going to actually put. Why did I choose? Why did I choose to antagonize? Why do I choose to antagonize quality content? Thing with that was like, and I have to back it up. I can write this down. Is that it was like maybe I'm gonna write FOMO right away for some reason. Fear of missing out. There's also passion for danger. Passion for danger. There's also philosophy. And the last one I could probably fit in here is task one content. To have something. Shoot. Yeah. These timestamps don't do justice for the fact I'm not going to edit this video. Not even the audio. Yeah. To prove. Okay. Yeah. Okay, these 4 items. Okay, so why did I choose the entire squad content? First of all was fear of missing out. It was literally like same reason I had this weird relationship with grade school and college and even my workplace job. It was like the things that I didn't have to do were things I had to do. or things I must do or not or never do or should not do. Things of that nature, those complicated, those controversial natures I keep overcomplicating because I love to do that shit. Like, I was missing out on either the fun or the hardline. I keep saying hardline. Strictly professional. I love being a strictly professional in my mind. I loved being someone who was against fun end results. So there's a weird, illusory thing of this. Purpose, stillness, the whole dichotomy I made before with the entertainment results thing. I didn't like having fun because of my philosophies, but I also didn't like having results because of my philosophies. I didn't like choose my purpose because of my philosophies. I didn't like even being mindful because of my philosophies. It was weird. This weird diaphragm thing. I'm losing these big words. Even if I know what I'm using them for, it's still weird. But I love doing that. So, like, FOMO is related to that because I was actually getting scared that if I would do this one thing for myself to explore the unknown, like I wrote down here. No, I didn't write down. Well, exploring the unknown was one of them, but like FOMO was related to exploring the unknown. My fear of missing out by choosing to explore the unknown in spite of the mundane things I could have done for the right reasons, or even the right things I could have done for the right reasons. It would have actually been good for me, but I still chose to explore my own route and pathway in life, as alternative as it may have been, because it actually was something I actually cared about. Passion for danger. Some of my passions, they say you should do what you enjoy if it doesn't hurt yourself or other people. Sorry. Look, I'm not going to be that contrary. I'm not going to be that, like, loose, lossless. I'm not going to actually be that stupid and hurt people or myself because of my passions. But if your passions are things that actually get people hurt, including yourself, obviously you have to do something about that. But it's like, passion for danger is really like, there was a lot of things I was scared of. Like criticism, for example, I was scared of criticism, but I also wanted to make sure that I actually got to do the things I want to do. There are a lot of things I describe myself as being that people see me as the exact opposite of. Like, I see myself as an extrovert. I see myself as a traveler. I see myself as a fashion designer. I see myself as a scientist. You wouldn't even know this shit from the surface level because you always see myself. Okay, people typically will like when they come to the idea of who I am and they notice what I do. They're proud of the things I can do. They're proud of the things I'm good at, but they don't have to pay attention to anything else. Like, they won't have to believe me for a second that I saw myself as like a salesman. Yeah, for example, that was a pretty crude example, but I was ambitious about that for a while, and it did work out to an extent to changing my mindset, being more positive about certain things. But so there was obviously like a diagram of bump contract width, so to speak, if you will, that kind of thing. But like by trying to be a salesman, I actually got myself in a better mindset. By even exploring astrology, for example, I got to be in a better mindset. That's occultism, all that other stuff, the spirituality stuff, but no fuck it related stuff, the chakras and the chi and the freaking manifestation spirit, whatever. You know, it's just that's how I got to be like that. If I didn't get to do those things, as dangerous as they were, I would have never had to find out how I got to this point. But people can make that in back-asswards way. People can tell me that in back-asswards way and be like, see, if you weren't being bullshitted by us the entire time, you wouldn't be a good person. Yes, but that still doesn't make it any easier that how you bullshitted me. And there are people who say that, I cringe at that too, but it's a long gambit. It's like people who tell me that they tried and they still really shittily had an effort. I know, and maybe not all you're following at this point, but like with that what I just said, but you know, philosophy, as I've been saying, just that as far as why I did choose the entire squad concept for philosophy reasons, as I mentioned throughout the list of this whole entire video, was I actually, it just happened to be stuff that I believed in, even if it was being controversial as being controversial. It was nothing too contrary for no good reason. It was there were good intentions behind my actions, but it was like has as many excuses you can make. But like, you know, it's just like but half the matter as like yeah, it was just I again, I would rather go into the explore the unknown, as fun as that is for me. However, find that being fun instead of being the fun I want to avoid for some reason. The cliche fun of video games and movies and all that. Avoiding fun in the cliche sense, but not in the one that I trick myself into being fun about. So that usually how it works. I have to trick myself into having fun sometimes, manipulate myself, deceive myself into having fun. So I learned that how good it is, and that's not a bad thing. But how backwards it is to learn something like that, learning backwards. And finally, we have to have something to prove. And this was supposed to be an easy one to explain, but it's actually a good item to end with, because having something to prove doesn't have to be what it looks like, but at the same time, it's not to be done that way either. So it's like, you know, it's like you shouldn't have to have something to prove when you do something. But it's nice to see that you would go really far distance just to have an ambition and a pride for something that you actually believe in. But you don't have to prove it. When I was trying to antagonize quality content, I wanted to prove that there was a way to have content in a way that people don't have to define being the exact same thing over and over. This was the same Gamut issue I had with defining all of YouTube videos as entertainment or education. It was the same issue I had with people saying that you have to have content that's good in order to care about it, or content that's worth watching in order to think of it as being something you'll care about in the long run, or think that you actually deserve to grow your channel with it, or even have a better well-being with it. I don't think quality content is necessary to have that self-worth. I think even crappy content has its place. It's just that I have a really hard get with quality content and crappy content. It's like, because I don't intentionally make videos that are dumb or pointless, but I never actually approached quality the way I could have. Quality could just simply mean making your videos better than they were before, but even that has an issue in my mentality. It's a very weird thing to tangle with. It's just like, it could literally just mean make videos better. What's the problem with that? Well, meet me, enter this guy, and he just comes with this whole like catastrophe of, oh, doom and gloom, I'm not gonna be able to make quality content ever again because my traumas. No, I'll work them out over time if I can, but that's just what happened to me for the longest time. But it's just, even as I entered YouTube over and over time, it was something that I just bothered me for a long time. But as I make these other videos in the future, and I'm still trying to make videos in the future, I hope I still do, but these are some things I have to deal with. And everything I mentioned in these last 2 pages, they're not the only thing I have to deal with, but they're just things I have to think about. So we got items from 1:33 to 12:57. This is already going to be over like 15 minutes because I remember the last clip ending in like 12 or 13 minutes. So we'll work that out. Anyways, this will be all for now. I'll edit this together, and we should have timestamps in this video description if I remember to. And I'm not gonna add an extra timestamp for an outro because I'm not gonna try to do one yet. If I did, I want you to know how this video ends. So yeah, see you guys. I don't have an outro for the namesake of the channel yet, but I'll try to make more. Oh, one thing. We will create an extra timestamp, but this is gonna be for like the 4-part thing I didn't choose in the last video. This is a bonus timestamp. I'm not gonna write this down, but just you in the viewers, you write this down in the comment section where this is. If it's minute 17 or whatever, write that down. Okay, right here. Okay, now this item is going to be part 2 of 4 of the channel name. So the last one I introduced was Oval is, comma. This next part's gonna be Tony and, not Tony and Cash, not Tony and Cashman, not Tony and Cashmantry with ... Just Tony and. The Tony and part of my new channel name is a reference to, well, it is include the last part of the channel name, but it's just the Tony and part is because, in part with this character I knew called Ann Sword, the main character from Algebreeze, from one of my cartooning creations from way back, not too long ago. Not as all those other things I made before, but nonetheless, we have this thing with the symbol and being a very significant thing in my life. I like to be very inclusive and inviting and accepting of things. I'm a very inviting person. In the long, to be honest with you, in the long game, I don't like to say long or long term. Other traumas are even then, but it's like I like to have. In the long game, I prefer to be invitational, and that's because I'm a person who would rather have the Pandora's box be open 24/7 and explore the unknown than to be ridiculed by even the mundane and normal things that actually would make me happy, and the things that would make me happy for being simpler and easier to do. But it's like it'd be just like everyone else, I guess, and not in the worst way. But that's what make me miserable, unfortunately. Yeah. But with that being said, when I am an invitational person, I think of, what was that? Damn, I didn't have to write this down, but I did. I forget what it was. It's like at least everyone that's watching this video already knows what this is about. But you know, what was I saying for this last bullet point? Invitational, long game. I'm not going to edit this, tempting as that is. I'd rather make this a longer video. You want to meditate with me real quick? We'll do that. We'll do it. Like, come to me, and this is something I was gonna do for the other videos in the future, anyways, especially the deep talks. The deep talk movie, in particular, I was gonna do this for other videos. I was just gonna like spare time and content, and I think it's coming to me. It's coming to me already. But it was what I was thinking, but just like a spare content. That was one of the last things I said before. With content. Got a free meditation session for this video. As succinct as it didn't have to be. I wonder what the thumbnail's gonna be, by the way. I don't have a thumbnail for this video, man. It was like, but I'm gonna add that one part out, though. I'm gonna add that one part. If I don't remember after this or outro, it's an outro. If I remember after this is I'll just mention. Oh, okay, there we go. I remember what I was talking about. I'll meditate for a few more minutes and then go back to it, and then forget again. I remember what it was. Imagine me editing this video to fit in the part that I misconjoined, and then still make this a longer video than it needs to be. I don't even typically like to meditate, including because of my trauma, so it's like. Almost got it. Okay. I already knew what I was gonna say. The other 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes, whatever I was gonna say. Boo. Yeah, 13 minutes. Got it. Okay. 10 minutes ago, I was gonna say that it was about the Tony Ann. So the Tony Ann part is like Ann Sword from the Algebra series, cartoon comic series I made a long time ago in high school. Not so long even then, but you know, so be it for a 10-year anniversary. That's coming out at this point from high school. That'd be fun if I get divided. But Tony Ann would mean that it was actually a continuation of being invitational and accepting of things. Because I prefer to open the Pandora's box rather than keep it closed. If you know what I mean by that. But Tony and Cashman is like a reference that I can see, break myself apart and see it. And yes, the look from within thing, yeah, okay, yeah, but being able to break things apart and put them together, or put things that were never together, and then break those apart, and then it's basically being insightful enough to know that these things can be extracted and inquisitively understood better without the common normalities I have a problem with. Things even saying inquisitive is actually giving me trauma a little bit. I'm so sorry, guys. I said that enough in this video. I said hardline and trauma a lot in this video for some reason, but it's like I actually But the thing with being able to see things for being better as a whole, or being parts of a whole, or being better together than apart, is part of my reasoning for over justifying things like materialism and other things. Like I actually over justify the idea of having items in physical reality, not just to symbolize objectivism, not just to symbolize objectiveness, which could be a cool thing to do. Objectifying the results thing, action, orientation, the world workers and results in a good way. Nah. But it's like, yeah, you know, better not put down the ologen thumbnail, but yeah, it's just it's a really nice thing though. Tony and so we got Oval is, comma, Tony and then we gotta do Cashmantry without the dot and then dot at the end, or maybe Cashmantry dot and then the whole thing at the last part 4. So yeah, now we're at the end of the video, and we got that extra bonus secret timestamp out of the way. Whoever's gonna jot that down, I'll pin your comment maybe. And instead of paying my own comments for social stuff, if I don't do that anyways, I just pin whatever long comment I put in the meantime. If I do that half the time, it's half the time I will do that, but make a long comment for the videos. But not every video I do has a video of my own comments on them. So you know. Anyways, see you guys later. No actual outro even this time, and I will see you in the future videos, including the Claymations I mentioned, including the other projects, the content I mentioned. There you go. Bye.